Yo, how you doing? Anyways, so to this video, I'm just gonna talk about like why you should stop talking about like negativity and like because recently I've been talking about negativity about other people and all that. How like, oh, this guy's a fucking loser. Fuck him. He should go suck a dick. Something along those lines. So I've been talking shit about like recent, like even like some photographers I don't like. I sort of talk shit behind the back and all that. And what I learned is that like after when you talk shit about other people behind the back and like and all of that is that it gives me indication that I'm focusing on external elements that I can't control. Like for example, if there's like a person you don't like who's a bit of a fucking dickhead, let's say, and if I keep talking shit about him all the time behind his back and all that, then it gives me indication that I'm focusing on things that I can't control. In case I'm too focused on this person, external fact of him being a dickhead, instead of actually me focusing on myself and actually thinking about what can I do to actually improve my life. Like for example, like I don't know, like recently, I don't know, like at the back of my mind, I'm always like talking shit about this, I don't know, this other photographer. Like I don't know, I've always been talking shit about him. I'm not gonna name them and all of that. I keep talking shit about how he's a bit of a dickhead. He's not, like not like generous or whatever. But recently, I just been, you know, recently I want to probably stop that shit because after a while, like, cause I realize that if I'm talking shit about this photographer, then it gives me indication I'm not really focusing on myself. I'm too busy focused on the negativity, and I'm focusing too much on that stuff too much. So I realized that I need to stop talk negative about other people and start focusing on myself because I realized that I'm not really focusing on my own journey. Like I'm too busy focusing on the negativity about them, like about their character, why I don't like them, and like I should be stopped talking about negative about this person because what I learned is like if I'm talking negative, it just gives me indication I'm not growing as a person. I'm focusing on like something that's not gonna help me in the long run. Like let's say I keep talking shit about this guy, if that's not gonna help me in the long run, so I need to stop talking about shit about this person and start talking about my own shit and start focusing on the things that I want to do. Like how can I get to A to B? How could I help myself get to the desired goals that I want? Because that's what I want to do. Because like for example, if you're focusing on your competition, right? Like focusing what they're doing and all of that, and what they're doing this and all of that, then you can easily get overwhelmed, and then you start changing strategies that lean towards this, and you're not really focusing on your strong purpose. Like I think from my personal experience, I feel like for me personally, like for example, there's like let's say there's another content creator, right, who's doing like a lot of street photography, and their stuff is cool, and the next month I start doing a bunch of street, and then I realize that's not leading towards my desired purpose. Like that's sort of leading towards something that I don't really want to do. Like I don't get me wrong, I like doing street photography and all of that, but like if I'm trying to like copy or mimic them and trying to compete in their competition, then it gives me then I get kind of overwhelmed. So in my opinion, it's like don't focus on your competition. Don't focus on what other people are doing. That's what I'm saying. Like focus on yourself and your own lane because the truth of reality is everyone goes their own pathways. Like people go from this way. Yes, there's gonna be some people who are gonna get lucky, maybe go viral or live the dream life they've had. But they got there because one, they got a bit lucky. Two, they persevered. And I think sometimes it's easy to compare yourself with other people, like such as YouTube or like social media, just in general, because since like you're on like social media, it's like since you're competing against people around the world that you don't know them well, it's easy to compare yourself. So that's why sometimes I spend less time on social media or like Instagram, TikTok. Like I want to like spend less time on Instagram recently because I realize I'm always comparing myself. Like subconsciously, my mind's always comparing myself to this fucking creator or this creator, blah blah. Like, oh, why does he have so many views? Why his account has better engagement than I do? And I think I should stop doing that because I think after a while it's actually wrecking my mental health, and I'm focused on external elements that I can't control. So You know, you gotta focus on the internal elements that you can control. You know, you want to have that proactive mindset of thinking, what can you control? Don't focus on what other people are doing, because you're not them. You can't control them, right? You gotta focus on yourself. You gotta focus what you can control. Like, what can you do to become a better photographer or a better salesperson? Like, or learn certain skills that's gonna help you become a better future for yourself. If that makes sense, because I think that's something I'm kind of struggling with, you know, because I'm always comparing myself with other people. And honestly, if you want to stop comparing yourself with other people, just spend less time on social media. Because, like, I don't know, sometimes I do compare myself. Like, for example, like, sometimes, like, why this guy's getting more engaged, like, has a better engaged audience than I do. Like, why is my engagement on my stories are shit, you know? And sometimes I just need to slow down and just, like, you know what? I'm not going to think about what they're doing. They fucking making whatever they can make. And I'm going to focus on myself and what I can do. Because I don't want to think about trying to beat in other people's competition or other people's race. Because they doing their own things, I want to do my own shit. Like, I should be focusing on what I truly want. Like, what is my strong purpose and desires. That's what you should be focusing on. Don't focus on, like, other people's goals and all of that. Like, for example, for example, I mean, like, I was watching Hamza, right? I mean, he was talking about how, like, there's a point where he made his YouTube videos very, like, clickbait, very fast-paced style videos, right? And then he stopped doing it because he realized that, like, he was getting, like, probably a lot of more views and algorithm and all that stuff. But he realized that his purpose for his YouTube channel was actually fading away. So he quickly stopped doing it and go back to the stuff he truly was doing in the first place. So I think, in my opinion, it's focus on what you want to do. Focus on the purpose you want to actually give a big impact. Don't just focus on, like, what other people do. And, like, oh yeah, I should do this, I should do that. Like, no. Focus on yourself. Focus what you can control and focus your own lane. Don't get fucking stressed out about other people's lane, because everyone goes their own pathways. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Hope you learned something. I don't know who's watching this. I bet you no one's not watching this. But anyways, hope I gave value whoever does watch this. You know, like, fucking no one's not gonna watch it. But yeah, see ya. Bye.